So imagine this, you've been exhaustively ticking off your bucket list, and the day has finally arrived for your long-awaited commercial submarine journey into the depths of the ocean. The anticipation is almost overwhelming, and you can hardly contain your excitement. However, as events unfold, things take an unexpected turn. A submarine carrying 5 passengers mysteriously vanished while en route to the site of the Titanic wreck. OceanGate, a deep-sea exploration company, has been conducting expeditions to the wreckage of the Titanic. The company uses a 21-foot submersible named Titan, which is smaller and less self-sufficient than a military submarine. It can carry a pilot and 4 mission specialists. The submarine vanished deep in the Atlantic Ocean while on a mission to the Titanic wreck site, carrying 5 people, a pilot and 4 commercial passengers. The vessel carried a British billionaire Hamish Harding, an explorer and private jet dealer. This 58-year-old adventurer is the chairman of Action Aviation, a global sales company in business aviation. He holds 3 Guinness World Records, including the longest time spent traversing the deepest part of the ocean on a single dive and fastest circumnavigation of Earth via both geographic poles by airplane. He is no stranger to danger, having ventured into space aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket. Next, we have a father-son duo from one of Pakistan's most prominent families, Shahzada Dawood and his son, Suleiman Dawood. Shahzada serves as the vice chairman on the board of Ingra Corporation and is also on the board of the SETI Institute. He is well educated with a Master's of Science degree in Global Textile Marketing and a Bachelor's of Law. He is not just a businessman, but also a scholar. Paul-Henry Nargeolet, a 73-year-old French maritime explorer, is another passenger. He is the director of underwater research program at Premier Exhibitions, MS Titanic, the only company with exclusive rights to recover the artifacts from the Titanic wreck. His experience with the Titanic is unmatched, having completed 37 dives to the wreck and retrieved over 5,000 artifacts. Some even call him Mr. Titanic. The last passenger is Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate, the company that runs the mission. Co-founder of the company, Rush, has a dream of being an explorer and a firm belief in the safety of submersibles and the value of taking risks. Now, these 5 people find themselves in a race against time. The submersible, named Titan, began its dive Sunday morning and lost contact about an hour and 45 minutes later. The US Coast Guard in Boston is leading the search, with assets deployed both on the surface of the water and below. The operation's location, about 900 miles east of Cape Cod and up to 13,000 feet deep, complicates the task. Based on the company's information, the submersible has a 96-hour emergency sustainment capability, which would include oxygen and fuel. As of now, there are no more hopes. Regarding the operation of the Titanic submarines like OceanGate and the risks associated with a failure to inspect and certify properly, these vessels are generally built with specific depth limits known as test depth and crush depth. While I could be wrong, my theory suggests that the ship experienced an explosive decompression, probably due to poor inspection. In simple terms, a test depth is the deepest a submarine is usually allowed to go during normal operations. It has a safety margin built into it. The crush depth is the depth at which the submarine's hull will collapse due to the pressure. Regulations and standards are put in place by navies and maritime organizations to ensure that submarines operate within safe limits. These regulations take into account the materials and construction of the submarine to determine how deep it can safely go. Crews are trained to be aware of these limits and systems are in place to prevent exceeding them. In the case of OceanGate, which mysteriously went off the radar, if it dove deeper than its safe limits, it likely faced a sudden implosion. This means the outside water pressure was so high that it smashed the submarine like a soda can. Not only would the sub be wrecked, but the crew inside probably didn't make it. Plus, the implosion happens so fast and with such force that there's hardly any time to send out SOS signals or messages. Trying to recover anything from the deep ocean is super tough because it's so deep and the wreckage would be scattered. This incident with OceanGate reminds us how powerful the ocean can be, especially when you go really deep. Now, what do you think? Would something like this make you think twice before hopping on a submarine for a fun trip?